Hello, my name's Dan Hughes. I'm a 1-0 fighter fighting out of the pound. Joking. My name is Rich Vernon. I am an amateur MMA fighter fighting out of IPC Wrexham. I'm currently 5-0, soon to be 6-0. I'm the Grand Prix bantamweight champion, and soon I will be the bantamweight division champion. So I come from a very loving, genuine, nice background. I wish I could say I was like, you know, I cut my teeth on the streets and had to go through so many traumatic things. Everyone's been through a little bit of hardship, but yeah, growing up, a little bit of an underachiever, education-wise, stumbled through life, not really good at anything. That was until like I found combat sports in general. I wanted to be a WWE wrestler when I was younger. I used to go to D-Side where UKFC have actually hosted an event, and I used to slap the mat and pretend I was Shawn Michaels. From there it evolved, wrestling to boxing. I fell out of love with boxing and shortly found MMA, and throughout it all I've had an awesome support system, loving friends, family, backing me all the way. I wish I had something more interesting to tell you about my upbringing, but that is pretty much the bare bones of it. I took the traditional path. I've sought higher education and had a career path in mind, but I didn't want to settle for normality, and I wanted to see what else is out there, and I found my passion. I've never been more dedicated to anything in my life. I love it. I feel like I grow as a person. I am not the person I was yesterday, the day before that, the week before that, month, year. I'm constantly finding things within myself that wouldn't have been brought out otherwise if I didn't do mixed martial arts. I suppose my mum and dad, they were really young when they had me. They faced their own set of hardships, and I think that instilled certain traits and characteristics within me that makes me who I am today. They are my inspiration and my heroes because they were able to give me every single opportunity a young kid could have asked for, and they've given me the tools and the attributes and, you know, the outlook on life to go out and chase what I want. You know, my mum's the most resilient woman I've ever met. I might be a little bit biased, but she's taught me so many things about grit and toughness, and also being loving and caring. And my dad is my #1 fan. As much as overbearing as he can be sometimes, it comes from a genuine place of love, and he really gave me the foundations to build on. I'm so lucky to have both my parents and both be positive role models, and my partner as well. Everyone supports me. I've had, you know, 1 or 2 naysayers or people who don't necessarily get it or aren't quite with the program. Anyone like that is not in my life. I surround myself with an awesome support system, including Paul, otherwise we wouldn't be talking right now. From the beginning, I thought I was a bit of a to be honest. Leave this in, it's a true story. I was just about to go to uni. I tried out MMA because Conor McGregor was big at the time, and I signed up for IPC. And I didn't freeze my account when I went to uni. And I think he took, it was something stupid, like £25 out my account. I was like, come on man, I need this, I'm going to uni, I need to buy pencils and sharpeners and all sorts. He was like, you can have the session for free when you come back. I was like, that, IPC. I was young and immature at the time, but as to me is such like, so cliche, so it is like the inspiration behind what I do. Me as an individual, starting out my MMA career, I was quite unsure of myself and lacked a lot of confidence. There are still times where I doubt my abilities, but as is someone I can go to who I always know will shoot me straight. He will always give me the brutally honest answers. He's not a yes man. He's a hard taskmaster, and you know they're few and far between. But when you get a compliment from Aaron Aby, you know you've earned it. He's someone I aspire to be. If I'm even a fraction of the fighter that he is, then I would honestly consider my career a success. You probably wouldn't like hearing that. He's like, you know, I want you to be better than I was at this point. But what he stands for and even him being here right now, today, and the effort, he pours his heart and soul into these strays that come walking into the gym. You know, he's got a whole office of 5-year plans, what we're working on. He's a coach where I know when I come in, I'm going to get better because he has pre-planned it. It's not just we turn up and do whatever. It's he really cares and nurtures for us and is hard on us. He wouldn't get that respect if he didn't lead by example. He's been there, he's done it, he knows exactly what it takes. I have a lot of admiration for Aaron Aby, as much as don't want him to hear me say that, because he has been a bit of a prick this camp. He says, you know, I'll take you to hell, and he truly did. You know, he wants to break you. He doesn't have time for slackers and people who are half-arsed, you know, and that's the brutal reality of this game. You're either in it, fully fledged, or, you know, don't waste your time, become a football hooligan. So every fight camp is different. You know, I couldn't sit here and say the first was the same as the second was the same as the third. They each progressively get harder because you have to evolve. If you do not evolve, you get left behind. The difference between last camp I was sick as a dog. I had chest infection, ear infection. I was seriously doubting whether I could perform how I know I can perform on the night. I remember messaging Aaron 2 weeks out and being like, I don't know if I'm ready. He messaged me back, we went back and forth, and ultimately what he says goes. If he says I can do it, I can do it. So this camp has been tougher than the last one, but I've felt better. I've really kind of approached it professionally as I did the last one. But it's gone well, you know, it's working on technical things. I think my raw ability and skill level is at a pretty decent stage. So it's fine-tuning and adjusting the most minute details that might not seem like they matter, but ultimately it might be the difference between winning and losing, and we take that very seriously. It's almost like a science, the approach we take. What's the highest percentage? What's giving me the most likelihood of winning? What are the percentages? And you know, we work and work and work and work and work to put the odds in our favor. And then ultimately on fight day, whatever happens, happens, but I can sit here and I can tell you that I have done everything in my power. It's cliche, I've turned over every stone, you know, no stone left unturned. You cannot hide from Big Brother Aaron Aby, because you'll get found out and you'll get exposed. And I'm ultra competitive, so I don't like losing. Pretty much the same message as all the others. You know, I want you to bring your very best self. I only want to beat the best. I don't want to build a record, a padded record. I don't want to hide from anyone. I always want to take the toughest challenges. And I believe he's got great grappling credentials. He's a really tough fighter, really good kid, you know, but ultimately it's a sport based on trying to incapacitate the other person. We both know that. There can only be one winner unless we draw and do a round robin and, you know, open that can of worms. Yeah, I want to beat the very best. In the rankings, he's above me, so let's change that. 5 years' time, I want to be kind of looking back at maybe this interview and being like, geez, look at this guy, you know. In terms of future plans and what I want, I work very closely with Az. You know, that's how much I trust him. I hand him the reins. There are certain things that I want to achieve, but ultimately, he's been there, he's done it, he's the leading authority on whether I can make it or not. So whatever he says goes. 5 years from now, I want to be a professional fighter with some very high accolades. I'm not doing this just for shits and giggles. I'm doing this to be the very best. I want to go to the top. I want the titles. I want everything. And, you know, there's always those quotes, you know, if your dreams don't scare you, you're not setting your goals high enough. Like, I'm to the top whenever I get asked in work or anyone approaches me, you know, where do you think you're going to right to the fucking top.